Hello everyone, my name is Valerie and I'm a senior analyst at DerScanner. Today I want to talk about supply chain security and why it matters. As we all know, open source components are becoming increasingly more and more essential in software development, currently comprising up to 80% of the codebase in most applications. Developers turn to these libraries for multiple reasons, namely for their convenience and for the amount of time and effort it saves them from not having to build everything from scratch. But while introducing third-party components to your applications certainly has its benefits, it's important to remember that it may also pose a significant security threat and know how to defend against these threats properly. So when we think about open source security, the first thing that comes to mind is software composition analysis. And this method is indeed very reliable and very adept at identifying known vulnerabilities and known security issues. But how do we defend against the unknown? Let's say in case of a zero-day threat, when a malicious party introduces a perfect replica of library we want to use. That's exactly where supply chain security comes to play. If let's say you found a package on GitHub that you want to use, you might want to scan it with DerScanner first. For each and every package used in your application, DerScanner will have the following. The total dependency score calculated based off of 8 security metrics. Let's dive deeper into what each and every of these metrics says about the project. So the first one will be the popularity. Is the library widely in use or not? If it is, it's obviously good. Moving on next to authorship assessment. This will dive deeper into the developer of the library and the maintainers of the library. Do they have any mentions of hacktivism or malicious activity? If they do, this is obviously no good sign. And here we don't have a perfect score. However, seeing that all other parameters seem to be good, this perhaps can be brushed off in this case. Moving on to community activity. From a community that is alive and well is certainly a good sign because it acts as a fail-safe when something goes south. Interest in safety will indicate whether or not there are specific measures in use done by the developer of the library to ensure that the library stays safe. So if that's something that the developer of the library does, it's absolutely good. Then if a library is just recently created, it's not a bad sign at all, but it just means that we don't have enough data to know whether or not the library is good or bad. So if you have any alternatives, it would be better to stick to them. Biggest threat if the first number of the version of the library is suspiciously high. This usually indicates only one thing, that this was done deliberately to mimic another library in use. And to the next one, an only project by a developer. So as in case with libraries that were only recently created, it's not necessarily bad, it's just that we don't know yet. And it's better to be safe than sorry. And moving on to the last one, this is actually something that we'll inform you about, but we at DerScanner believe that upholding open source to these standards might be a little too early, so it won't be reflected in the final dependency score. As we all know, the good code writing practice suggests that each pull request should be reviewed by at least 2 independent parties. So if it's not done, it's going to be reflected in the score. And that's basically it. And given this breakdown by metrics and the final dependency score, what you're going to get with DerScanner is a comprehensible and actionable insight into the overall level of trust for each package that you use in your project. And that's what takes the traditional approach, which uses only SC analysis, from reactive to proactive. So that's basically everything I wanted to talk about today. Have a good day and thanks a bunch.